Okay, so I'm creating a table, again same table users, but for this exercise there is no theory. We'll directly see data loading scenarios under copy command parameters. So I'll create one separate database maybe demo one, and yeah, ID is integer. So this time let's go with like specific. Usually like Oracle will have like maybe varchar 60 or something. I'll replace all the strings. All right. So also I need to create one internal named stage. Create stage. So yeah, let's name it like my stage. Okay, I logged into it, so it's fine. So now I need to load the data into internal stage. So from SnowSQL, this is the command I will run. See why I'm writing here is so this will act as a notes for you. So right, so put the I need to load this data, and again this command won't work from our web UI. So I didn't give. So I'm loading all the CSV. Star.csv will load all the CSV files. Okay. Oh, sorry. So you can see it loaded all the files which are in this particular folder, all the CSV files. Now, just to give you like overview of this data. So if I open this bad records, right? So you can see here we have this ID column. This is defined as an integer in Snowflake table, whereas here I inserted one value date. Here I have some date, and also here if you see what is our table, we defined it like varchar 60. But if you take a look at this column, let me check the length of that column real quick. So you can see 134 characters, 93 characters, 152, right? Definitely like more than what we have. Uh, Sorry, what is this browser? This browser. Okay. So this is like 60 characters we defined, and it's more than 60 characters, right? So it's like a more. That's why it's like it will give us error. Okay, anyway, like I loaded the data into internal stage just to see whether the data got loaded or not. List at the rate my stage. So all these are like we have already seen in the other classes, nothing new. So as per like today class is concerned, we'll see the different options of copy command. Okay, so let's see this scenario. So we'll see I'm covering today data validation, how to validate the data using copy command. If you got error, how to handle that using on error. We'll you see the filter command, and also we'll see like pattern, and we will see reading the data from stage, and we will see command purge. We will see length. So sorry, uh, column length. Okay, that is the part of two commands are there. Truncate is there, extra characters plus enforce length. These two commands are there. We'll see all this. and also collect error records, correct invalid records to different table. So let's say you are loading some data, you got 5 records as an error. How to capture those 5 errors into a table? Okay. So and also like for ETL, how to create like add like ETL metadata columns to a table. How to create a ETL metadata columns, we'll see. See, we will go like step by step. So first we'll start with data validation. Okay, so from here, so okay, let's see the data validation. See, as of now we have only 6 files. We are opening and checking like what is the data inside here, right? So if it is there, I can quickly check this because I have only 1,000 rows stored in this Excel spreadsheet. Each and every file contain only 1,000 rows. But in real time, you will copy sometimes, like if you are loading log files or any small files, there will be like hundreds and fifties or sixties of file. It's practically impossible to open each and every file and check like what is like is the data good or bad. So see, by seeing here, I'm able to identify, but in real time sometimes like you'll get like some special characters or some not readable, like some Chinese you don't know, like some encoding issues or data conversion issues, some or other thing will happen. So in that case, how we can validate the data from Snowflake side? Okay, let's see. So what is the table? Again, the copy command is same. There is no change in that. We'll just I'll just add like few concepts today. So copy into this table. Where is my data? My data is in this stage, right? From @my stage. Let me give file format also. File format type is equal to CSV. Okay, then skip header. Comma is not required. Skip header is equal to 1. Right? This you are already aware of. Now we'll see data validation today. So in the validation mode, validate underscore mode is equal to return errors. Li validation mode, not validate mode. Validation. Okay, I is missing. Small typo. So let me tell you what this validate mode will do. So validate mode will never let copy command to copy the data. If you keep this validation mode option along with this copy command, even if your data is valid, like let's say all your data is good, but still the data won't be loaded into table. Okay. So if you are using validation mode, then you are using validation mode just to validate your data. So let's see now. So if you see, I loaded all the files, right? All the files are in stage. I'm copying the data from all these files to table and it is giving me error. Okay. Now you can see numeric value is not recognized. Okay. So I expanded it last. So yeah, numerical value is not records. And what is the file name? File name is bad records. And so line number, at what line the error we got error. So the first line is header, the second row is like a the date and something I have given. You can see the type of error, and you can see here user ID, which column it is, column name and column number. From beginning it's like first column, second column. Okay, and you actually can see the rejected record, complete rejected record data over here. See here we have a date, that's why it got rejected. So here if you see, this first column is good, second column we have more length, right? All these are errors. So validate mode, even if the data is valid, it won't copy the data into table. So validate mode return errors will open all the files in the backend. It will go through all the lines any line which is not in line with my table structure. So varchar 60, that means I'm allowing only 60 characters. ID is integer, means it should allow only integer. So it will validate any data conversion issues, any parsing errors. It will check, and if any errors, it will return the errors. Okay, so that's called validation mode. So this is something new we are seeing. So to the same command, there is one more way called return all errors. Okay, return all errors. What this return all errors will do is, it is similar to the written errors, but return all errors, what extra it will do is, let's say yesterday I loaded some data. Okay, I loaded some data. I got few errors. I skipped those few errors. How to skip the errors? I'll show you in on error. Okay, but just remember this. Yesterday I got some error. Using on error, I skipped that error. Whatever the data is valid, I loaded. So now if I say return all errors, whatever the data which I skipped yesterday, that data will bring, because Snowflake copy command will remember the data for 64 days. Okay, so copy command will remember the copied data for 64 days. Means what is the file name? So any errors, everything it will remember for 64 days. So return errors, the only difference between them, yesterday, like whatever the errors I skipped, those errors will come here and it will be listed. So we will never use this. Only this is most widely used. Okay, and on error there is a third. There is a third one called written n errors, or it is called written n rows actually, not so 10 errors, or like I'll say maybe 2 errors. Okay, so what this will do, this will open the first file and it will check the errors for only the first 2 rows. So if I put like 200 rows, it will check for the first 200 rows. If any error in the first file in the 200 rows, it will give me the error. So it opened some file, and I don't have any error here, so it's not showing any error. So this is like a sample. It will only check for the sample. Okay, so only the first file. It is just like a sample. So this is about validation mode. So written all, and this one we'll never use. Trust me, these are like useless options. Only this is because if I'm checking data, because I'm loading the data today, I'm interested in today's data. I'm like least concerned about yesterday what I load, because yesterday also when I'm loading, I'll check for this. Okay, written errors, what it will do is, it will just like open all the files, go line by line, any errors it will return. So to be honest, this is, I know this, but I never used it. Okay, now moving on to the second option, it is called on error. Okay, on error. Let's say you are loading the data, you got some error. So guys, like how many files we are loading? So we are loading 6 items, so 6 files total. 6 files, all these files are good, right? The data is good. Because of this one file, and also in this file, how many errors we have? Okay, this is error, this is error, this is error, this is error. Somewhere maybe there is one more error. Because of this 1 2 errors, why we want to stop loading this data? Like whatever data is valid, this data is valid, right? So again, this data is valid. Only like 1 2 3 4 records are invalid. Because of this 4 records, why we should stop like loading 1,000 rows, right? So that's the reason Snowflake is providing us on error option. That means whenever we are getting an error, how to proceed, like how to handle that error. So let's say on error continue. What this will do, so let's run this and check like what will happen. So when I use on error, you can see the remaining files are completely loaded. Uses data for everything is loaded, but bad records, this is something partially loaded. And here you can see out of 1,000 rows, it loaded like 995. So 5 errors it got, and the details of 5 errors you can find it when you run return all errors, right? 5 errors, the details of error if you want to find, go and check the validation mode. So on error is to how to handle your errors, but not to look at what error it is. Okay, remember that this is for validation. This is just to um, how to check for the error when you got, like how to handle that error. On error continue, it will load valid records. Whatever the record it is invalid, it will skip that record, as simple as that. So second option in the on error, skip file. I'm truncating the table. The previous load will be deleted. So if you see the skip file, if I run this, any one error in the file, it will completely skip that file. You can see the load failed. So it loaded the data from all the remaining files, but even if you got one error, you can skip that file using the skip file option. So what is so you can also play with the sampling. So let's say few files are like, if you're working on few domains like digital marketing, IoT, you'll always like get the invalid records because of the some parsing issues. You'll always see some kind of issues on these domains, digital marketing and IoT. What is this skip file 10? You can give any of the number. You can give any number. So what is the skip file? I'll show you. Like I'm going with the example 10. If I run this, okay, once let me truncate this. How many files it loaded? 6 files. This is partially loaded, right? So if you see error limit, I am setting the error limit to 10. How many errors I have seen? I have seen 5 errors in that file. But what is my error limit? 10. Okay. So it loaded like it loaded the data from this file because I set the limitation to 5. Now what I'll do? Again, I'll delete the data which I loaded previously. Again, here I'll set 1. Now if I set 1, what will happen? See, the load got failed because my error limit is 5 and errors seen are 5, right? It skipped that file. So you can also give the percentage as well. That will work. What is the 1% of 1000? You need to calculate and you can set that. Okay. So if it is the errors are more than 1%, then okay, let me give maybe 12%. So what is the error limit, guys? 120. So you can give in the percentage, it will automatically set that particular number here. Okay, so this is about on error. So to summarize, continue whatever the data it is valid, it will continue load the data. Skip file will the skip file. Sorry, where is the one more thing? Yeah, there is one more called abort. There is one more option called. So let's say you are loading some sensitive data. In that case, you don't want to risk copying the data. In that case, like you can use this abort statement. So this will abort the copy command immediately. 0 rows will be loaded. Okay. Abort statement will abort the copy command simply. It won't allow like any one error across all the files. It will simply abort the copy statement. If any data got loaded, it will unroll, it delete the data from the table. So abort statement, any one error, it won't allow to load data. So we'll see the files now. So guys, here the use case is like, let's say here, how many files you have? You have total 6 files. So again, external stage in AWS S3, you have same number of files. So in that case, you want to load data from only one file. In that case, how to load data? Because if I run the copy command now, it is copying the data from all the files, right? So if I run my copy command, it will copy the data from all the files. But now I want to load data only from one file, not like all the files. In that case, you can do the filtering. Okay. So you can say like files is equal to, and you need to give the exact file name. Okay. Let me list that stage, and I'll pick one file and I'll copy. So this is my file name, right? I'll take this file name, run it. Okay, data got loaded. So from how many files? Only one file. So if you have multiple files, right, you have to give the multiple files. So let's say I want to load data from 2 files. Then I'll give the 2 files name. Let me truncate the table once again. So I'll copy the data. So see, the data got copied only from 2 files. So files option, if you want to specifically copy the data from few of the files, then you can use this files. Okay, now who will type like all this? If you see here, like this, you have some 10,000 files. Can you type like user data 1, 2, 3, 4 till 100? It will be like very painful, right? So for that reason, Snowflake is offering us one more option. So if you have more number of files and the file names are almost, you can use the regular expressions, guys. So you can use the regular expressions. So for that, you can use the pattern, and you need to give the exact pattern. Okay. So let me go to the regex builder. So writing regular expression, it's altogether different topic. But what I'll do, I'll take like, so this is one file, and here we have the files like two. So we have this one, and also what is the other file we have? Bad records. Or let me make up some file names, sales.csv. So now I want to copy all the users data without manually passing all these file names to the file. In that case, I have to write the regular expression. See here, there is some cheat sheet. Any character except new line, character classes, dot. See, it selected all the files. But what is the file I want? I want this file. So till CSV I'll take. Again, dot star I can give. So yeah, again dot, and after that I want all the characters. So if I want all the characters, I'll simply say, okay, it's not out. One second. So user dot star dot matches any characters. Where is my escaped special characters? So it's like I need to pick all the characters, then user status. Yeah. So this is the regular expression. I need to develop that regular expression, put it over here. Then if I run this now, it should pick the data from all the files, leaving the bad data. So you can see 5 files, the bad data, it's not in picture because it filtered all the files. Users data 2, 5, 4, 1. This site is helpful to develop your regular expressions and all. Okay, so that is about pattern. Will this take some time? So I'll park this things to at the end, or like this should go here. Let's say this option purge. What is purge is? So this is your table stage, user stage, named stage. This is your final Snowflake table. This is my D drive. Okay. So from my D drive, I loaded the data into named stage. From named stage, I ran copy command and I loaded the data into Snowflake table. Here I ran what command? Copy command. Here what command I'll run? Put command. Right? The file is here. The file is here. The data is here. So how many copies of data, guys? My data is in Snowflake table. My data is in named stage. Right? So here, like let's say I loaded 1 GB of data. So here 1 GB they'll charge me for storage. Here 1 GB of the data they'll charge me for storage because I'm using Snowflake managed storing area here, storage area here. So once this is done, how we will remove the data from stage? What is the command? RM or remove, both you can use, right? This is like a manual. So if you think like you are loading the data from all these files into only one table, in that case you can say purge is equal to true. Then what it will do? It will copy the data, like let's say from all the files, it will copy the data into table and it will automatically delete the data from staging area. So if you see purge is equal to true, so see that on error I need to give on error is equal to continue. So data got loaded, but okay, sorry. Again, I need to truncate. See, data got loaded, right? Anyway, I didn't run purge command, but data got loaded. If you see, all the data got loaded. Now, if I list my stage, I will see all the files. Okay, again, I'm truncating the table, removing all the data. This time, I'm running with the purge command. Purge, but if I list, right, where are the files? The files are gone. The files are automatically got deleted. When you use purge, once the you copied file to here and you copied that file data to here, once this is successful, it will automatically remove all the files from this stage. Everything is cleared out. Whatever the data you loaded, only those files will be cleared out. So if you have 100, you loaded only one file, 99 files will be safe here. Whatever the data got loaded, then only it will delete the file which is already loaded. Okay. If the records got copied, if you have one file, four errors are there, then four errors are means the four errors are not copied, right? In that case, it will keep that. Let me explain again. So any internal staging area, that could be anything, any staging area, external also same thing. So this is my table. How can I load the data into this table? Either I need to load the first data into external stage or internal stage. Okay. So here I have one file, two file, three file, four files. Inside this fourth file, I have 1,000 records. Out of this 1,000, two records are bad. Okay. Then here I'm using the copy command, copying the data from internal staging area to Snowflake. Okay, I'm using the purge also here. Purge, what it will do? Any data got loaded here out of 1,000, I have like only one error. Remaining 999 records got loaded, right? Then this file will be removed from the here staging area. If your data is in S3, again, if you use this purge, it will delete the data from S3. It works same. It will when let's say you have only two files. In the two files, one file there is only one row. In that one row, there is only one bad record. In that case, it won't delete that file because we have only one row. That one row is not loaded to this table. If it is not loaded, then it won't delete. Okay, so next is collect invalid records. Let's see this invalid, rejected records. Let's say. So rejected records means what are rejected records? So the one we are skipping, those are rejected records. Okay, we'll do one thing. So whatever the data is valid, we'll load the data. Okay, using on error continue, we'll load. See, it's not able to load because it removed the files, right? When I ran purge command, there are no files. So I need to load this data again. So I'm running this. How many records got skipped? 5 records got skipped, right? So I'll go to the history, okay, and I'll click on the query ID and I'll copy this query ID. So this part, I'll copy this query ID because when I ran this command, 5 records got skipped, right? I'll take that query ID and keep that as, and I'll keep it aside. So how to check for the rejected records for this particular row? There is a small function, okay? It's a scalar table function. Select star from table, okay? Then we have a small function called validate. So what is the table we are like validating? Users table. So job ID I need to queue. What is my job ID? I'll show you. This is my job ID. I'll copy this. I'll paste this. Okay, five rows. So here it is giving me the specifics of the error, right? Here I can say numeric value ID is not recognized. Here I have the entire data of that file. So this file is contributed by some source system or some upstream teams, right? So I don't fix, like if I don't know the correct, like why they sent like here date, I'm not sure. So here like maybe the value should be 1, but still I don't take risk because if I'm correcting, someone will ask me like who asked you to correct, like how do you know the value, right? So sometimes the data is contributed by different teams, not like we will extract the data from sales. Let's say the source system is SAP. I'm not SAP person. I don't know SAP. In that case, what I'll do is I'll just run. I'll collect the rejected records to one table. Then I'll send an email to the source system. I got like few errors when I'm loading. These are the details. Please check and please check. So what they will do, they will check and they will send the revised file. Okay, so if I run this, it is giving me all the rejected records, right? So then what I can do is create table users rejected records as simply again I'll cut this, I'll paste it over here, this one. Okay, table got created. Now if I query this table, I'll get all the rejected records for this particular data load. These are the records. Simply I'll give this table name to upstream, or like I'll extract the data and I'll share the info with them. Okay, this is how we can save the rejected records. So again, to summarize, you'll use on error continue, which will load valid data, invalid data got skipped. But I want to keep a track of that invalid data which I skipped, because if anyone asks me what is the valid data, what is the data you skipped, then again I need to give them the details. So this will act as an audit table. Okay.